Yeah. Free Buffalo Wild Wings. This is actually
the most brilliant marketing campaign I've ever heard of.
Wow. I was going to say it's great.
I'll tell you why. I think you could figure it out when you think about it as you tell people about it, why this is such a good marketing campaign.
Well, because it gets you to come to the restaurant.
Right.
After the game.
No, not after the game. Nobody's going to leave where they're going. It gets you to come to the restaurant for the game.
But you can't use the certificate for the free wings until another time, another visit. You got to read the fine print, brother.
Oh, if they were really smart, because the way I read it was, and I wasn't reading the fine print to be honest with you, the way I read it was they were going to offer up free snack-sized wings during overtime.
Yeah, so if the Super Bowl goes into into overtime with the Rams and the Patriots, and it very well could, both playoff games did, then Buffalo Wild Wings is going to give you a snack size, which I think is 4 wings. Is that right?
When are they going to give
You're
it to
the
you?
aficionado. You
yes,
go there much more than I do.
It is 4 wings.
Even though I'm in the club.
Maybe it's 4. Maybe, I don't know.
Are you in the club?
Maybe it's 6.
What's the club called? I have an app on my phone. It's called Blister or something like that.
No, I have no idea.
Anyways, it's a snack size. I think it's 4 wings.
4 to 6.
Yeah.
4.
If the game goes into overtime. Well, it's free. I mean, if you get 4, I'll get 4 free wings.
I know, but that's something that's on their menu on a regular basis. Like, who in the hell would...
Blazing rewards.
Has there ever been a time that you've ordered 4 wings?
So,
come on.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I want to be teased. Give me the strip club platter,
If
please.
Super Bowl 53 between the Rams and the Patriots, I'm reading the release now, goes into overtime, everyone can get free snack-sized chicken wings.
I don't like this.
You can even choose between boneless or traditional. I know you're a boneless guy.
Not if it's snack size, because that's 4 chicken nuggets. Okay, I mean, I could get
on a day next month from the chain.
Okay,
so wait, it says on a day next month.
This is, but everybody, you, me, even if we're not at Buffalo Wild Wings, we get the wings.
Yeah.
Everybody in the planet.
Everybody in the planet can come in and get a... But here's the thing. It's like giving you a sample, right? It's like giving you a tease. It's perfect. No, it's really good because...
There's nobody's going to go in there and say, give them 4 wings and then leave.
Right. I don't know if wine tasting really is good at this, but, there's still like... Eberle wine is free tasting. I think Tobin... I don't know if Tobin James charges or not. I think they do. Eberle's the only one up there that's doing free wine tasting.
You know how I know that?
And he sells more bottles of wine.
I know.
Than anybody,
it's really
because
good marketing.
Everybody goes there because hey, it's free. That's what they're doing.
It's really good marketing.
They're not giving you the bottle. They're not giving you the whole chicken wings, the whole meal, but they're giving you 4 or whatever it is.
I don't go wine tasting, but I Uber drive in wine country on Saturday afternoons. And everybody who is younger than 30, every group that is younger than 30 that wants to jump in my van and go for the fun wine ride,
they want to go there.
Number 1 destination, far and away. Number 2 is like tooth and nail. Number 1, Eberle. Eberle for sure.
Why do they want to go to Tooth and Nail? Because it's a castle?
Yeah, it's a castle with a moat.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it is cool.
It's a castle with a moat.
I'm surprised they don't want to go to Tobin James too, because it's just right across the street.
That's number 3.
Okay.
It is a little further down. Tobin James is pretty far out.
Yeah, it's out a little bit.
And I don't think everybody knows whether or not the tastings are free. Eberle, they know that the tastings
I don't think Tobin is free. I think they waive it if you buy, but I don't know for a fact. But I know for a fact that Eberle is free. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to Gary about it, and he's told us.
Who's Gary?
Gary Eberle.
Oh, it's a person?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know who Gary Eberle is. He's been here before. He's on TV. He's everywhere.
He's on TV? What does he do on TV?
Well, he married a former KSBY news anchor.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Good for him.
And, it was a long, long time ago. Marcy, yeah, she's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I know him from my wine show. But anyways. So he has told me that they moved more product because of that free tasting.
Hell yeah.
Said he'll never change it.
Because, you think about it. When you
a lot of people used to be that way.
We talk about this all the time with the Costco dynamic. Okay, with the promos. Like, you've seen people before go and eat a little Hot Pocket or something, and they'd be like, "Oh, where could I get that at?" And they act like they're going to go over to the area and get it, and then pick it up and then put it away somewhere else. But you feel guilted enough when you get something for free that you should be buying.
You should. Like, let me return the favor. I'll buy something.
Yeah. And sometimes you really like it.
How about a diet soda?
Eberle, he must, Gary's his name? Gary must really
You've never seen him outside?
Do great wine.
When you drop people off? He sits outside.
No.
He's the only guy I know that owns a winery that sits
I know
outside
he's an
half the
ex-football
afternoon.
player, right?
Yeah, he went to, he played for, he went to
So he's a big man.
Penn State. Yeah, I forget he was a tackler.
What, he's there greeting people and giving them free tastes?
Well, he's he's got people working there, but he just sits outside with a bottle of wine and he greets people as they come in, and you can shoot the
Yeah,
whatever
I've
with him.
not.
You can talk about playing for Joe Paterno
every day
at Penn State. I think he played for this. I think
he's out there every
walked on
day
to the Steelers for a little bit
during tasting hours. Just saying, hey, welcome to my winery.
I don't know about every day, but most days, yes. Most days you'll find him out there in the afternoon for a couple of hours just saying hi to
Saturdays? That's kind of a day
people.
off.
Yeah, no, Saturday.
That's the only day I'm pulling in there. I'll look for him next time.
Yeah, you can't miss him. He's a big guy who's played football.
If the product that you make is good, right, which I'm sure he thinks his product's good.
His product is very good.
And it's a good product.
And it's free.
It's an established brand that has been in Paso Robles probably the longest of any of the wine brands, correct?
I believe so.
One of the longest at least.
He was one of the first.
So you must make a good wine. If you make a good enough wine to where you give people a little bit of it for free, they're going to be compelled to buy it because they got something for free.
And that's what Buffalo Wild Wings is doing.
They're
They're following the Eberle model.
It's a good marketing.
And but they're giving here's the problem with Buffalo Wild Wings: the service. All right.
Well, it depends on where you go.
I have good service there sometimes, and other times, oh my God, it's
Santa
terrible.
Maria.
Huh?
Santa Maria.
Go to Santa Maria?
Yeah.
They just earn it down there, don't they?
Services.
Feels like the one in Slow.
I got to
different
tell
attitude.
you, Buffalo Wild Wings in Santa Maria.
I had great service at that
versus
one.
Buffalo Wild Wings in Slow.
Right.
Night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day.
So if the Super Bowl goes into overtime, everybody gets 4 wings. So you go in there, you can have your 4 wings, you can leave, or you can sit down and enjoy. I would like to enjoy. We have not been. We used to go there and watch games every once in a while. I haven't done that in a while. I love their wings. I bought the sauce. I've talked about it. I take it home and I put it on my wings at home that I make.
You like it, the sauce?
You know the Costco wings you buy, the big bag of frozen ones? They're usually in barbecue or buffalo. I think it's I forget the name of the company that makes it. Genio? No, Foster's.
Oh yeah.
Yellow
bag.
They now make a mango habanero.
Yeah, but it's not gonna.
No, but then I take the Buffalo Wild Wings mango habanero.
Oh, you double up,
and I double up.
Double
with some
up
ranch.
on the mango habanero.
Double up.
Okay, all right. I could get on board with that.
Anyways, love that sauce. That sauce.
I could get
is
on
good.
board with
it's
that.
It's hot though. It's hot. Jeff will tell you. So mark that down. Pray for overtime. There's a good chance it'll be overtime.
Pray for 4 wings. Jeremy says, pray.
Coming up.
Pray.
A little bit later on, next hour.
Whatever you do, pray for him. Ask for God's assistance you could get
whatever.
4 wings.
Okay, obviously I don't go to church and I pray a little loosely.
Pray might be an overstatement on that one. Remember, we had a friend in college who moved back home, but then he was part of the football team. So he came back for like some kind of football camp, and he got too drunk the night at one of the football camps, and he went to go walk home. But he walked home to what used to be his
old apartment.
Not his old apartment, his girlfriend's old apartment.
Yeah.
Which is even worse.
And somebody found
there was Japanese exchange students in there. So he breaks into his girlfriend's old apartment and passes out on the couch. Japanese exchange students wake up. They don't speak any English. They're screaming at him. He's screaming at them.
Gosh. That's going to be the worst way to wake up.
Like you have
somebody screaming at you in another language where it sounds like they're yelling all the time.
No, I did not break into your place. I did not.
Where's Amy? I can't remember what her name was.
It was Allison. Close.
Where's Allison? Oh, that's right, Allison. God, another great girl. Very funny. Always dated douchebags.
No, he wasn't that bad. He was a good guy.
I didn't think he was that great. I feel like the good ones always date
come on.
douchebags.
I mean, he got drunk and broke into some Japanese exchange.
Yeah,
students.
douchebag. That's a douchebag move. I'm sorry. If you're that drunk. I mean, I know.
That's like the worst thing
I've been really drunk in my life, and I've fallen in ravines and had to spend the night in them, but I never broke into somebody's apartment and, was arrested for breaking and entering.
I love it. I love that. That's my favorite story. Because I've heard stories comparable to that. Nothing ever tops that because of that layer of the Japanese exchange student
that didn't speak any English
because they have no clue. And that whole cops show up, they put them in cuffs. I mean, it was just beautiful. It was just absolutely.
Where
beautiful.
was Live PD then?
Well, because you've been drunk and Ubered. when you're drunk,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Have
I've
you
been
ever-
put into an Uber after too many. Yes.
Have you ever done the
Not proud
thing
of
where
it.
you move the pin and you think you moved the pin to the right place? This happens to me all the time as a driver.
No.
As a driver, this happens to me all the
Why
time.
as a passenger? Why would I ever move a pin? I just put in my address.
Yeah, but some people, like especially if they're visiting from out of town,
Okay.
they will put a location nearby to where they are going, but it's not the right location. So I'll go to drop people off at the address that it tells you to drop it off at, and people are like, "This is not my place, man." I'm like, "Well,
That's what you put in the phone, dumbass.
I don't know what to tell you because this is where it's telling me to go." And then they start looking around. They're puzzled because they're drunk. I mean, it happens a lot. Okay. Luckily, I speak English and they speak English.
How pathetic can some people be?
Yeah.
No, it's funny. I've been using Uber since it first came out. I don't know, 5-7 years ago, whenever that was. And when they first came out, man, I felt like I was royalty. The guy would get out, he had like white gloves, a tuxedo, and open up your car door,
right.
and you'd go in. I go, this is an unbelievable service. Now they get out, and it's like they just came from the gym. The guy's sweating. It's like what happened here? So it's like a taxi service with a better car.
I once took an Uber. Now, we live in an area, it's wine country. You'll see it when you come up here, but there's a lot of farms. And the guy picked me up in a pickup. It was an F-150, and he had chickens in the back seat.
Are you kidding?
He goes, they're in a cage, but he's like, you got to get in the front seat because I got my chickens. He goes, decided just to take this call. And it's like,
you can't write this stuff.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOC.
only in Paso de Robles can you get picked up in an Uber with a bunch of chickens in a cage in the back seat.
That was from back in September. We talked to Sebastian Maniscalco on Uber. You can listen to that whole podcast by subscribing to our podcast. It's Jeff and Jeremy on Apple, Google, and Spotify now. God, I couldn't imagine like chickens. Like I feel bad when I'm picking people up. I feel bad like oftentimes because I do it in Paso Robles. They'll come walking out with like a case of wine and I'm like, oh crap, I have no room in my trunk and like 6 people. So I've got to maneuver car seats around. And if the stroller's in there, forget about it. Somebody's sitting with a case of wine on their lap, but I feel bad because they can't put it in my cargo area. In the minivan, I'm like, oh, listen, sorry, I got kids and their car seats are in the back. 99% of the time, they're cool about it.
I had a short ride,
100% of the time.
I had a short ride, and I was running late, so I didn't care. Now, other situation, I'm taking, the wife and I are going out to dinner. We're going to drink a little, so we're going to be responsible, and I get picked up in a dirty pickup with chickens in the back. I mean, and not in the back of the truck either, in the back seat, like it was a crew cab.
Who needs a ride?
That would have been a different situation. But the guy was really cool, and he apologized. He goes, "Hey, sorry, man. I just got off the ranch, and I turned this on, and you called me, and I'm like, no, I'm glad you picked up because I was kind of."
He pulls up. You cool riding some chickens?
Chicken Freddy.
Police in Maine say a drunk man took the wrong Lyft ride and then tried to get into a house mistakenly that he thought was his own. It's happened in Cape Elizabeth, Maine.
Okay.
They have Lyft in Cape Elizabeth, Maine.
Okay. I think I'm really telling you, this Lyft and Uber is everywhere now.
He mistakenly got into a Lyft car summoned by another man who lived next door to him. Okay.
Okay.
So then he was dropped.
Weird.
He was dropped off early Saturday.
Okay, when you're downtown L.A., San Francisco, and a Lyft
and
or an Uber shows up,
one,
and
I understand.
That probably happens all the time.
Cape Elizabeth? Like, what are the odds?
Your neighbor called one at the same time you did? That is crazy.
He was dropped off.
You have better odds of getting eaten by a shark than that happening again.
So I think in his drunken splendor, what he did is he didn't want to admit to the to the Lyft driver that he dropped him off in the wrong place. So he got off and he staggered towards a nearby home, one that he thought was his, and broke in. Caused a commotion trying to get inside the house. Homeowner called the police. Cape Elizabeth police come out. They say the man was intoxicated, taken back to the police station to sober up. Homeowner, this is the cool thing about Cape Elizabeth, apparently, did not want to press charges. Would you press charges against that guy?
No, he's my neighbor. He's probably a cool guy, so let it go.
He said he was very sorry. He was not identified because there was no
That's
charges.
what's cool about living in the country, and Not everybody's a jerk.
He realized what happened, was very apologetic. That's what happened to our friend that broke into the Japanese exchange student.
Well, they didn't quite
He was like,
understand.
listen, I'm sorry. He was like, let off that evening. But he also was taken to the police station to sober up. Like, I think the police once you break into the wrong house and you think it's yours, that is a sure, like, no breathalyzers needed, right? That is a sure sign of overconsumption.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
like,
for
just
sure.
sober up. We don't.
Yeah.
What, are you going to give me a breath? No, we don't even need to. You walked into the wrong
I don't know.
house.
The way our legal system works, the guy'd still go to court. The guy forgot to give him the breathalyzer, and the judge was like, well, I got no evidence that he was drunk, except for that he broke into somebody's house because he said he was drunk.
Who knows? That could be an honest mistake. Congratulations to the unnamed man. You got off easy this time.
It's a good thing you live in the country.
And you probably learned a lesson, so it's all... There's no harm, no foul in today's...
Dumbass of the Day. It's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
Have you ever done like the Sherry's Berries or the edible arrangements or the...
I have had some Sherry's Berries. I think you and I...
1-800-Flowers.com.
Didn't Sherry's Berries have us pitch them like 10 years ago? I want to say 1 year we got it.
Yeah.
Other people in this building, because we have 5 radio
They get it
stations
quite a
do
bit,
it.
yeah.
And I think maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe...
We're not really.
We don't sell berries very well, but
You're right about that.
If you've had
and
one,
it's about to get a lot worse.
Listen, if you've had one chocolate strawberry, you've had them all. And
Unless
the problem
you want to be
is,
a sponsor, then it could be really good.
the other problem is, and I realize Sherry's Berries are big, right? And now they're never going. Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm bashing them because they're not going to take us, but. I mean, they're not going to take us because I'm not trying to bash them.
We're already too far along for them
But
to
my
take us
point
this year.
is, we have the best strawberries in the world right here in Arroyo Grande and Santa Maria.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Why
these
would
strawberries do
why
not
would you
come
pay
from Santa Maria or Arroyo Grande.
$60 for 12 strawberries.
They're coming from like the valley or something. I don't know where they get their strawberries.
The strawberries are good. Now, the Sherry Berries strawberries are good, and they might even source them from here, but they're coming from somewhere else. So
Hayashi's.
They're not even the freshest.
I think Hayashi's got the best strawberries I've ever had.
By far.
Now, Linda.
Why do you think people are lined up?
Yeah, Linda's got a place too, but it's in Arroyo Grande somewhere. But Hayashi's
I know the place.
is the best.
No, so this is secretive.
Okay, well, don't bring it up.
I don't know if I should talk to you.
Don't even bring it. I don't want to know because I'll tell everybody. I got a big mouth.
I'm not going to tell you.
I just go to Hayashi's. He's got a lot of strawberries.
No, I'll tell you.
And you know what he did for me once?
Because the guy's only open for like 2 days a week and for like 3 hours.
One day I go by and I'm like, I just want to try a strawberry because I know they're good. And I'm by myself. It was after we did the ZZ Top
and
thing.
It makes sense why this place is so
And
good.
I ran down there and I tried a strawberry. He's like, hey, you going to buy? I go, I don't have any cash on me. He goes, I recognize you. You just take it. He gave me a whole thing, 3 bundles or bins of strawberries.
It goes back to the whole Eberle model
He goes,
that we're
take
talking
me next
about.
time. Get me next time.
It's the Eberle model that we're
And I'm like,
talking about.
What a great guy.
Yeah. Now you are committed to buying strawberries from him for the rest of your life. You're never going to change unless the product fails you.
Yeah.
Right?
A guy that's been around this area forever. I mean, I've talked to other people, and he was planting vineyards back in the 80s with this dude. And I mean, Hayashi's been around a long time. So,
I'll tell you
the fruit
this.
stand.
The place where Linda's talking about, Mark, my cubicle mate, the one I share the wall with,
Yes.
over in the sales office.
Yeah, this surfer guy.
Yeah. Want to buy some ads, man?
Yeah. It's groovy.
I could get you on KZOZ. I'm really good friends with those guys. That guy. He brought in some strawberries from
Great impression, by the
from
way.
the stand, and it's on the Pike in Arroyo Grande.
Oh.
And it's before you get to Elm, so it's from it's Halcyon.
You got a pack when you go to this stand?
Between, no, it's between Halcyon and Elm on
The Pike.
On the Pike, and so it's in the same growing region as Hayashi's because it's right down the street from Hayashi's,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
And his strawberries are craft services. You know, the Hollywood people, the people that provide food for actors and actresses backstage for catering and stuff like that. They get their strawberries from that guy.
Wow. You know this guy. You've talked to this guy.
I've not.
Oh.
Mark.
Oh, Mark.
Yeah.
He's your total connection.
No. He's like I got the full story and then some from Mark. Because that's what he does. He forgets part of the story that he was telling to you.
How do we get on strawberries again? Oh, the berries, Sherry's Berries. Yeah.
There is one of these outfits that is doing something this year, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it because this thing is only good when fresh. So the Harry and the David They bring you nuts and fruits.
And chocolates, I believe. I know they used to have one over in the outlets. I don't know if it's still there or not in Pismo, because that's where I got it. It was after Christmas or something. And I went in there and they had some baskets. I'm like, oh, let's get one of these. And we had some pears, and the pears were pretty good.
This is what I don't understand. They're doing donuts for Valentine's Day. Donuts are best
when they're fresh. Yeah.
Okay, 3 hours after they're made. Eatable 6 hours after they're made.
Yeah, the next day they're doing.
After 10 hours, you don't want to eat a donut.
Well, it depends on the kind of a cake donut is probably better.
And these are
longer.
These are cake donuts that they are offering up. But still, it's got to go through shipping. This dozen donuts, you want to know how much it costs to get a dozen donuts shipped to you in a pink wrapper with a gold ribbon?
$30, $29.95.
Oh my God, you are far off, my friend.
No way. Am I low or
You're
high?
Low.
You're kidding me. I'm thinking, okay, if you're Harry and David and you're going to do this and you're just sending somebody donuts, it's got to be reasonable. What's a normal dozen of donuts cost? Like
50
maybe
is the list price, and if you know
50,
$49.99. Wow. You don't even get a dozen; you get 10, and they're miniature cake donuts. They're not even full-size donuts.
These must be the best damn donuts ever.
No, or the best markup that you could possibly get on anything. Because like the pears and all that stuff, that's got to have some, some freshness that you have to layer into that. Now, keep in mind, also, when you buy these things from these places, 1-800-Flowers, Sherry's Berries, Harry and David, I'm missing edible arrangements. The shipping you get is like a 2-day. You get a 2-day standard express shipping, or 5 to 7 some places. And that will cost you extra on top. Now, because these are donuts and they don't want them to go bad super quick, they are adding the 2-day shipping included if you pay the standard shipping and processing charges. Now, the good thing for that is if you're a last minute person and you're like February 11th, February 12th comes rolling around and you're like, oh crap, I got to get her something. I heard about these donuts. I'll get her some crappy donuts for 10 crappy donuts that are 2 days old, but at least they'll come in a package and it'll be, I'll fulfill the necessity of doing it. It'll get there. Unlike flowers. So what Harry and David is doing is they are positioning themselves as being the only last minute shipping option.
And you know what?
For people that are going to be as cheap as they possibly can.
Guys will do it because they're last minute. We don't plan ahead, and we know we have to do something. I forgot about Valentine's Day until you brought it up. Now, I'm not going to remember it after this conversation until it's the 2 or day before, and then I'm like, I need to do something. I hate Valentine's Day. Like, I just did a Christmas. You know how much work Christmas was? She took it back.
I know.
Got her a purse. The funny thing is, there was 3 purses I was picking between, and the one she ended up going with was one of them, and I never even showed her the pictures of the other ones. So I should have went with my first gut reaction. But I just remember being so stressed about Christmas, and it just got over, and I feel like I just was able to relax, and now, Valentine's Day. It's here.
The good news is after Valentine's Day, you got a while.
Well, my birthday's in August, yes.
Would you rather them be more evenly spread out or have it all happen at once and just get it over
all
with?
At once.
I do too. For a minute there, I was thinking, wouldn't it be a better idea to spread these out evenly? But no, let's get it over with so we have some breathing, some time to collect ourselves.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at KZOC.com.
Super Bowl 53 is a week away from this Sunday. A week from this Sunday? That's how you say it.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
And a lot of the prop bets are coming out. Your typical stuff like...
I was watching the HQ last night. They were covering a lot of these.
What is the HQ?
CBS Sports HQ.
Oh. Is that online?
It is...
The stream?
The sports version of that CBSN that we're always talking about.
Yeah. So it's a stream online that you can watch from CBS.com.
The thing I like about it is they cover a lot of... They're trying to get the jump on legalized gambling before the other networks do. So they talk a lot about spreads with like Goombas in Vegas. I love it. And Jersey, because Jersey's legalized gambling now.
Let's see here. The length of the national anthem. Gladys Knight is going to be singing it. That's always up there, I feel like. Let's see here. Will any actor wear a Colin Kaepernick jersey in a commercial?
I'm not going to take that action.
I'm not either. How about Donald Trump? How many tweets the over-under on how many tweets he'll send out
I think it's
during the game?
I think it's going to be low.
The over
Unless
is
the
1.
government goes back to work by that time.
Yeah.
If the government goes back to work by that time, I think it'll be high. But I'll take that. Whatever the over-under is.
If the over is 1, I'm going to take over.
Is the over-under 1?
Over-under's 1.
No hook, huh?
That seems way too easy.
You know what hook means?
I would put 3.
You know what hook means?
No. I'm not a gambler like you.
That's the 0.5. That's the hook.
Oh, okay.
I know that from watching HQ.
I would do 3.5 if I was Vegas. And I would still take the over. That would be tough.
On tweets from Donald Trump?
Tweets from Donald during the game. Only during the game.
If government is shut down, I'm taking the under on his tweets.
Okay.
At 1.
But
I don't think he'll send a single one.
But if it's open?
Huh? I
think it's the backwards. I think if it's shut down, that means he hasn't got his way. He's going to keep saying, hey, we got to open this thing up.
Be nice if I was working right now, but I'm just sitting here watching the Super Bowl. That's what one of his tweets will be. If it's over, I think he'll, if the government shutdown's over, then I'll take the over. And my rationale being that, he'll be talking a lot for weeks after the government reopens. The ones they were talking about putting smart money on, and they actually did some thinking on HQ, like the Vegas guys gave some rationale behind it, was if Brady is the MVP, who he will think first. His
wife and kids.
Yes, that's where the smart money is, because you have a track record of what Brady has done over this will be his 9th Super Bowl.
I don't know.
In 5 of those Super Bowls, the first people he thanked was his family.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, before his team.
All 5.
Before his team.
I gotta thank my family. My family. So Vegas is like all in on that. They're like, hey, if you're getting plus 500 on that, go ahead, throw $100 down.
What if he finds out about that prop bet and he thanks Bill Belichick?
They're not supposed to pay attention to that kind of stuff. What, you think he's going to pay down a lot of money?
I would.
Have a friend with a smashed cell phone?
Did you see that video after last weekend when him and Gronk are walking with they're not saying anything? Uh-huh. That was awesome.
I wanted to smash his cell phone.
I loved it. I was like, that is just so great. So if I'm Brady, I find out about that, I'm thanking somebody else. I'm thanking the janitor. And then if he thanks the janitor.
That something
that
fishy.
Obviously he found out.
There's something fishy there. Because the janitor was like 32,000 to 1. It's funny because another one was Jared Goff. Now, you don't have the track record of Jared Goff, but Jared Goff is getting the same money that he'll thank his family if he becomes MVP, if the Los Angeles Rams win.
I would say Jared Goff thanks his team first, then his family. Could be wrong.
What about the coach?
No, that's your team and your coach. I don't know. It's like your wife and your kids.
Another one was Adam Levine. What color shirt he'll wear? It's black against the field on this bet. Black against the field. So I guess the guy wears a lot of black shirts, because black shirts, you had to bet 180 to win 100.
A lot of people wear black shirts.
180 to win 100.
I wear
Vegas guys are like, no, he's going to be in the shape of his life. The only reason why people wear black shirts is because they're out of shape. And I mean, they were
right here. They wearing a black shirt.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
Oh yeah, you're sorry.
Single you out, but they even said, and these are two Goombas, and they know what they're talking about. They're like, listen, when I want to look good, I want to go out in a black shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fatties, we wear black because it's thinning.
That's exactly what they said. They said that, what's his name? Adam Levine? Yeah. Adam Levine is not in bad shape. So he'll probably come out and show off his shape, and it's better to show off your shape in a brighter color, and that is giving you more money. It is actually giving you 180 on a $100 bet, whereas you have to bet $100 to win. I mean, you have to bet 180 to win $100 if it's not a black shirt.
I like this one because it's silly. It's dilly dilly. Will Budweiser use the words dilly dilly in one of their commercials, or is dilly dilly over? See, I think dilly dilly's over. And last year, my folks bought me a Washington State University Cougar shirt, and it said dilly dilly on it, and I misplaced it, and I just found it.
And you can never wear it.
And now it's over, right? Dilly dilly's done. If I wear it now, people are like, hey, last year, what are you doing?
Well, cool, dude. Dilly dilly.
Maybe in five or 10 more years, it'll be cool. Oh, I remember dilly dilly.
Where's your what's up? t-shirt.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at kzoc.com.
Good morning. Welcome in. I've been into a bit of a Facebook and Twitter discussion.
Spirited.
It's getting spirited because people are using hashtags like the more you know. And it's driving me nuts.
Can I tell you this is you flexing your get off my lawn chops.
Why do you say
to
that?
the best of their ability? Because you're mad that something has passed you by and you're taking offense to it. Much like when I tell my mom to move closer to the Wi-Fi when I'm talking to her on FaceTime, and she's like, I'm sitting right next to it.
We're talking about grammar this morning. And Jeff and I guess people over 40 were taught one way, and now millennials, I'm convinced because they're lazy, Jeff has another argument, get to in a second, do it another way. And we're talking about how many spaces.
It's lazy. I know that it's hitting a space bar once.
All right.
There's no effort in that.
Let me explain what we're talking about here, because we haven't even explained that yet. Unless you're following us on Facebook, you have no idea what I'm and Jeff are even talking about.
Get off my lawn, guy, right now.
We're talking about how many spaces come after a period when you're typing. All right. So I put a poll up. It's our SurfNet Communications poll question at kzoz.com. You can also answer it on our Facebook page. And the question is, when typing a sentence, what's the correct number of spaces to use after the period before starting a new sentence? Now, I was in school all the way up into the mid to early 2000s.
Back when I was in school.
All right. We got two college-educated people in the building that studied journalism, that studied writing, okay?
Me and Edward R. Murrow.
And I'm not saying I'm great at it or anything, but I do remember grammar. I remember how you're supposed to do things.
Me and Walter Cronkite.
Edward R. Murrow actually is the name of the school that we went to, the Edward R. Murrow School of Communication. Because he went to school there. He set the curriculum. He set the standard. But he didn't set the standard for English. This just is what it is. All right, it's two spaces. It's always been two spaces. And apparently this morning, I am finding out for the first time, after talking to some people in the room, talking to your wife, who is, what is she, 30?
She's 34.
34. Because she's the last person to go through college that I know that is in the building. She's like, what do you mean two spaces? I've never heard of this. I was knocked down. I wrote a paper in college in my comm class, communications journalism class, and I was knocked down a couple of points because I didn't have two spaces.
What year was that?
2001.
Okay. I mean, I think you were on the last of the Mohicans on that one, because I remember putting two spaces after a period and not getting marked down for it.
You know, because that was the correct way to do it.
Specifically in college, which I was right after. In fact, we had a little overlap. I started in 2001. Yeah. You were finishing in 2001.
Right.
Okay. So we had a little bit of an overlap. And I remember being told specifically, I know that the old standard is two spaces, but now it's one space after a period.
You swear?
Because I'm not making this up.
You're not lying.
Because computers are the new norm. Because and Microsoft Word is the new norm. You no longer have to do that anymore. It's not a word processor. It's not a typewriter. It takes care of it for you. It looks aesthetically not pleasing to have a big chunk of space in a Word document if you put two spaces in it. Now, Word has progressed over time, and I believe now if you put two spaces in, it automatically will default to one space. It'll drop it back. It'll be like, oh, this guy's...
Okay, well, I picked up my phone. I'm sending you a text.
This guy's ancient. This guy's name must be Jeremy.
I'm sending you a text that says, Jeff is a monkey, all right? And then I hit space, 1, 2. What happens? What do you see there? Period.
Mm-hmm.
This devices that are still being created today, when you hit the space bar twice, because...
It's for old people.
It automatically puts a period in. So this poll question started very interestingly. It was 86% were two. Now it was 50-50, one or two spaces. Now it's 51% of people are saying one space. I'm sorry, two spaces. 49% are saying 2, so it's very close.
Oh, that is super close. I don't think 51-49 is gives you a right or a wrong.
I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer here.
I don't think anybody should ridicule you, but I believe the post that that sparked this, you took offense to because it said you could tell you're after 40 if you're putting 2 spaces after a period.
I'm 43.
But you don't want to admit that you're 43.
No, I'm fine with being 43. I'm good looking for 43. Somebody told me the other day, they said, how old are you? I said, how old do you think I am? They said 37. Now, they were being nice, but it still was under 40. Holly writes in,
and
Adam, spoiler. Holly writes in, she says, trick question. I'm like, well, I'm never taking you to a magic show. Obviously, I know. We know it's a trick question. I just want to know what people, honest, like their gut reaction. What is it that you use?
She goes on to say, we were taught 2, but now they teach that only 1 space is needed. And I think that's with
what you said.
Technology.
What you said.
That is with technology. It goes back to my whole argument as to why you don't need to teach cursive in school.
Kayla writes,
nobody's handwriting anymore.
2 spaces started with typewriters. However, if you try to do 2 spaces in Microsoft Word, it usually deletes 1, as there is a standard amount of space programmed as an after period space.
So it shouldn't matter. You should be able to put a period and then keep typing, and then it should put that space in there without hitting the space bar at all.
And then she wrote, hashtag the more you know. Trying to be a smartass.
No. See, you're taking offense to this, and you shouldn't take offense to this.
I said, okay, Captain Obvious. 2 spaces has been a standard since typewriters were invented over a century ago. When did this change? That's what I want to know.
Well, I think she said it. I think
when we were in school, no, you just told me when it changed. 2001.
Well,
I actually was in class of 2000, not 2001.
I think Microsoft Word, with its advancements,
and why are Android and Apple products still following the model of 2 spaces gives you a period, and then your 2 spaces past the period?
Yeah. Because it's for old people like you. That's what I think it is.
No. People today
and
are
I'm
terrible.
Not saying I'm a young buck.
Terrible spellers. They're terrible at grammar. They
but
write.
I adapt a little better.
They make up their own words like strug instead of struggle. This whole millennial generation.
Which they don't know which way's up.
Listen, there's a lot of benefits that come out of these young people and how ambitious they are. And
well, one of those benefits is not having to put 2 spaces after a period.
I guess they're very efficient. Are we really changing the English language now? Is that what we're doing? We're changing grammar. We're changing the way that we were taught.
I don't think it changes the English language. I think it changes how it's typed.
No, we're changing the way we talk in a written form. We're changing the way we communicate.
I enjoy it. I like,
and I realize this is just a space, but where does it stop? And then all of a sudden we're shortening words. Like strug is now struggle.
When's the last time you had canned anything like in a mason jar, like out of a mason jar,
like jam?
Jam, anything that has been made.
I have a little jam. Somebody made some jam here.
Doesn't surprise me.
In town, and they put it in a mason jar. Yeah. It's
old
pomegranate jam. It's very good.
It's old school. It's like you could buy your jam in the store in a jar.
Yeah, I still crank my car too. I get up every morning.
Model T.
Crank the truck so we
should go to the Templeton History Museum. They got a Model T in there. I'm sure you're like the only person in town that could drive it.
Hey, if you have thoughts, you can call, text 805-543-3693. Those are the 805 beer lines, and you can also participate in this poll, kzoz.com.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at kzoz.com.
Matt Cross is here, Entertainer of the Year. Good to see you, my friend.
Thanks for getting my name right. I appreciate that.
Did you bring us anything today?
I did.
I thought maybe a hat or something.
Oh, you got a hat last time.
No, I got a T-shirt.
I'll get you a hat then.
No, you don't have to give me a hat.
I'll bring you a snapback.
It was very nice you brought us. We love the T-shirt, by the way.
They're nice, huh?
Jeff's wore it a few times, I think.
Yeah, I wore it. I've worn it 3 times already. Because it's my most comfortable T-shirt.
Will you introduce us to who you brought in?
Yes, this is Dr. Ricky from the famous Broad Street Pub Trivia Nights. He's a good friend of mine and comes up with our
Are
trivia
you a real
questions.
doctor, or you just
where
play
did
one
you-
at trivia night?
Where did you get your doctorate?
I got my doctorate in 2010 at UC Davis.
See?
Real doctor, but not the kind of doctor you want on an airplane.
That's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
A
Let
doctor
me
of
ask you
trivia?
guys.
There's a doctor of trivia program
Let's-
at Davis?
Grocery science.
We were just talking about some grammar things that apparently has changed somewhere along the way that I didn't realize, and I don't know if you heard it.
Maybe you can work this into your trivia.
But-
by the way, Ricky hosts trivia night
Right.
at the Cross.
That's what he just said.
Okay.
I heard it.
I just
Thank you
want to
for
reiterate.
clarifying.
I want to reiterate.
We've got
Sunday
90
nights
minutes to
at
talk
5
about
p.m.
that. But real quick, I just want to know, Dr. Ricky, because that's what I'm going to call you from now on, host a trivia night at Broad Street Pub on
Sunday night.
Sundays at 5 p.m.
When you were in school, were you taught to use 2 spaces after you put a period down, or 1?
Yeah, I think I was right at the cusp. High school, yes. College, no.
Yeah.
That's my situation.
So it did
Yeah.
change. What year
2
was that
spaces,
about?
That's the standard, right?
No.
Would have been
9/11.
right around 99, 2000.
Okay.
Right around
Yeah,
then.
that was the
I had
it was
my
like-
journalism, it was a writing class, Com 295. It was the top class you had to finish before you would move on and be able to graduate.
before they would accept you for the 300 and 400.
But I was using
That was-
a word processor, pretty much like an old IBM computer.
Oh,
that,
wow.
that had a DOS program.
What year were you taking this?
It was 2000. All right, it was hey.
What?
Now Jeff got there in 2001, and they got new computers.
Yeah.
All right, so when he got in there,
I was using a Mac in like 96.
yeah. Well, so, anyways, it's a state school.
Didn't you
Okay,
go to
I don't know what to
George
tell you.
Fox? You went to
I
a
did.
private school.
I
so.
did. I paid a lot of money for
I
it.
said this just a few
Yeah.
minutes ago. There
It
was
pays for
I
Macintoshes.
turned in a paper, and in a couple of places, I forgot to hit 2 spaces. And because it wasn't like back in the, like it is now, you hit 2 spaces on a space bar, you get a period.
Right.
But so anyways, I got marked down for it. So I just found this out today. Apparently, if you're 40 and over, it's 2 spaces. If you're under 40, you're laughing at us right now, and because it's only 1 space.
But I think nowadays on Word, don't they even give you the red squiggle if you go too far? If you double space it?
I don't use Word because I'm a Mac user now, so I use Front Page or whatever the hell it's
Whatever
called.
it is, yeah.
And it probably corrects it for you.
50-50.
You probably put 2 spaces, but it probably drops it back to 1 space for you.
It
probably does.
Probably goes, hey, this guy's an over 40 idiot, so we're gonna move it back for him.
Man, the people at Cupertino are like, God, I can't believe this old guy's got a MacBook Pro. All right, back off his space one.
We have a poll question right now. It's a SurfNet Communications poll question. When typing a sentence, what's the correct number of spaces to use after the period before starting a new sentence? And right now it's 50-50. It's saying 1 or 2 spaces. So
there's no right or wrong.
I don't think there's a right or wrong now.
I don't think you should take offense to it.
It is an exciting
To
topic.
each their own.
Right.
To each their own. I think on this, if you want to do 2, do 2. If you want
Hold
to do 1,
strong to
do 1.
2.
Coming up here in a
but-
few minutes.
But when you write your trivia questions for your contests on Sunday night.
That might be like a tiebreaker question.
Okay.
How many spaces do you put,
Oh, but you don't want a tiebreaker question where it's objectionable.
Well, isn't
You
it
keep them there all night long.
isn't it factual now though? It's 1 space after, or is that not a fact now, or is that just it's what you prefer? Is there like a standard
If
now?
you're still using a typewriter or a WordPress, you could go ahead and put, a word processor. You can still put 2 spaces.
But what about your typing a document or an email or something like? What's the correct way to do it?
I don't know, but I know if you hit the space bar twice on any device, it will
makes a
give you a period.
period, yeah.
All right. So coming up, Matt has a rant. He was done wrong by the media. And I don't know why this is a big deal, because
this is the fakest of fake news.
I screw up the name of your pub. I've screwed it up for months.
It's because the association.
Okay.
You also put 2 spaces after a period, so you're not held to a higher standard.
Matt Cross here, Entertainer of the Year. Also, a Broad Street Public House. Just gave away $35. Trivia nights every Sunday. We got the doc here. He's managing that. We got Steve still and McCall, Idaho. McCall, not Idaho, is here. Which we're going to get to know McCall over the next several months.
She likes it or
she's
not.
volunteering at Woods Humane Society right now. And I don't know if we got into all that. But, all right, so recently you opened the bar. It's been a while.
Yep.
It's been a big smash.
I love the bar.
Yes,
it's a great
smash
bar.
success.
Thank you.
My only critique is more TVs. But you don't want it to be a
I like that.
TV-dominated
I like that
place.
because you have things like trivia night.
But what do you do for Super Bowl?
That's fun.
We got 2 TVs. You watch one of the TVs. That's what you do. Yeah. How many do you need to watch a game?
My
One
TV,
TV is all
my
you need.
TV at my house is bigger than what you have. You need to get a bigger TV.
Well,
then.
watch it at home.
I didn't know that you were a nacho scientist either.
I was not aware of this either. That was a little bit of a.
That is actually a great point. This tater tot nacho thing you figured out is pretty nice.
Well, it's really.
I like how you designed them all yourself,
Dave
too.
Schmidt, my chef, designed it, but it didn't get any credit in the article. So don't get me wrong, I love New Times and I love reading their paper, but they just got a few major things wrong in the article.
This is where, by the way, Matt says goodbye to his Entertainer of the Year.
Yeah, it's not happening next year probably.
Yeah. Wait a second. So did the Tribune reach out to you?
They're doing a retraction and they apologized online.
The Tribune?
No, the Tribune.
Sorry, not the Tribune.
No, did the Tribune reach out to you?
Tribune did not reach out to me.
Okay. Did the Morro Bay News reach out to you?
No.
Did I just make that up?
Yeah, I don't know.
The Coast
What's
News
your
or whatever
point?
it's called?
Let's cut to it.
My point is the only paper in town to reach out to you, you're gonna give them a hard time because they messed up something like one line.
It said the opening line is Mike Cross and Bill Hales from Ash Management started a bar, which.
Who's Mike Cross?
I don't know. I haven't met him
both
yet.
names wrong.
Yeah, and Bill Hales is a good friend of mine who owns a chunk of bars in downtown and is doing great, but not part of my bar whatsoever. He did start the bar. Originally, it was the Wine Shed. He opened the Wine Shed. It was purchased from him by Krista Davis. Then we purchased it from her. So we're the third owners, and we changed it to Broad Street Public House with my partner Bill Cody, who is he was a local police officer, local pastor.
Was that Billy Hales, you mean?
No, Bill Cody.
Oh.
Mr. William.
I'm just going off of what I read, okay?
Right. If you read the online article, it's all
right, Matt,
it's all
just
correct.
slow down a second. You're really fired up.
I'm fired up.
No, just take a breath.
Well,
you're just going really fast, and I don't want to miss anything.
Okay.
Maybe that's what happened.
It's probably what happened.
Did you have coffee before your interview?
She was listening to my interview and was like, I can't tell what this guy's saying. And
Matt
she
doesn't
just
have
threw it
headphones
together.
on right now, so he doesn't know what's going on.
I don't.
Go ahead.
We got some good music on.
Okay, I appreciate it. So anyway, I just want to state that my good friend and business partner, Bill Cody, co-owns the Broad Street Public House, and he's been in the community for 20 years.
Did he unfriend you on Facebook or something? Is he that mad?
He owns half of the bar, and he got no
But
credit
wait, you're not part of
whatsoever.
Ash Management.
I'm not part of Ash Management, no.
Okay, no, you did it on
That's
your
not what
own.
it says.
Steve, this is revenge for the cat comments, isn't it? Yes. Anyway, the rest of the article was
Why
great.
can't you just send it to your friend Bill that was not Bill, your co-owner, but Bill, the one
Bill
that
Hales?
was, the one that was erroneously named co-owner
Yes.
in the New Times article. Well, you say, I don't know who Mike Cross is, dude. Leave me alone.
Well, the best is
I'm not Mike, bro.
Ricky texted me a picture of Dr. Ricky texted me a picture of the compliments I gave him about trivia, and I'm like, you passed over the fact that it says Mike Cross and the two owners are wrong. He's like, look, you talked about me. It's the trivia guy.
So really, they really don't have anything to be mad about. I mean, your name was spelt wrong. I mean, it was the wrong name altogether.
It wasn't the wrong name.
So
I forgive the person who wrote the article. I said, no worries.
Did they write a nice article outside of
Yes.
screwing everybody's name up?
They
I mean,
did.
the important
They
stuff.
did.
Did they get the address right?
They did. Okay. They got the important things right. Those are some big things that we want to clarify. We aren't part of Ash Management. We are great supporters of Ash Management. Bill and I did this bar on our own.
I don't know.
Bill
That's not what it
Cody.
says here, buddy.
Do you understand that we don't even press spacebar 2 times to make a period anymore? It's only one space. So it's like you can't imagine people to get. You can't expect people to get names right when we don't even follow grammar the way grammar has been,
I know.
forever. Now we only use one space.
I just want to say that Mike Cross has done an awesome job with the Broad Street Public House. I commend him.
All right. Will you bring him in next week? I want him to be your alter ego. Would he wear a trucker hat?
He's going to know everything about football.
And no sleeves.
Yeah. And
sleeves are for nerds.
He's going to come in with so much football knowledge.
If somebody comes into the bar and says, "Hey, where's Mike at?"
Be like, he's not working today.
Okay. You won't give him like a free drink or anything? Really paying attention?
All my friends are being really good about saying, hey, Mike.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at KZOC.com.
We got Coach. How you doing, man?
Good. I'm just, when I heard the doc was here, I said, well, I need a mental health doctor right now. So maybe he told me he was the doc that they didn't want to have on the plane. And I was like, well, last week we had the most exciting game of my life, which was because we had a life-saving experience.
I saw that on the news. I wanted to ask you about that. I know.
You brought up the thing, Doc. I said, well, thank God we did have our heart surgeon, Dr. Luke Faber, was at our game courtside, and then our AEDs, and so we had a guy have a heart attack or basically his heart stopped in overtime of our game.
a minute left.
How rude of him. And we cleared our seats. They laid him down, CPR. Then we had the AED there. They revived him, saved his life. He gave us thumbs up.
I saw on the news
on the
like 2
gurney
days
going
ago.
back, and was able to make it back. I mean, it got a pacemaker put in, checked out of the hospital. 2 days later, 3 days
He'll
later.
be at the next home game.
I was at home and I was listening to the game, and you guys go to overtime, so I'm listening to it, and then I got pulled away because I got kids. So I got pulled away, and then I went back to. I thought I would have missed the ending of the game, but I wanted to see what the final score was, and they were in the longest commercial break, and I was like, "Gosh, man, they were what's
going on?
Cal Poly basketball really selling some advertising here." And then they come back, and you guys, and he says, "Okay," he gives the score. I forget what the score was. I think you guys were down by 2 at the moment, and we're back to action. We had a harrowing moment here, and he was describing what took place, and I was like, "Whoa, have you?" I mean, think of all the basketball games that are played, pro, college, high school, lower level NAIA type stuff. Have you ever heard of something like that happening and stopping play?
Actually, even worse.
Oh,
The referee fell on the floor for us 23 years ago at Highline Community College and died.
Oh my!
Right
God.
there.
Wow.
Prior to AEDs
Yeah.
being available, and so that's where I looked at this night. I told everybody afterwards, and talking to the tent, talking to the boosters next week, I said, technology, 25 years ago, there was not an AED there that just, was able to immediately, in public places, you're able to get that on, and certainly CPR and more people knowing what's going on, and amazing. And so he passed, and then when this happened, all I could think of was that event again, because we had a great crowd. There's 2,500 people. We got down by 15 or 20 points. We came back. We tied it. We took a lead. They came back. It was an unbelievable game. I don't want to say the game gave him the heart attack, but we've already joked about it with him already and his wife about what a miraculous game it was and kind of stress it puts on somebody. But at the same time, because of the health profession, because of what we have available, and he's a survivor. He's back at it now because of all the technology and the people and the actions of the people around him, our trainer, everybody that was involved.
He was at the game on Wednesday, right?
They pulled him, yes. Pulled him out of his chair. 6 or 7 people pulled him out of his chair where he was, I'm going to say he's pronounced dead, but he wasn't moving.
If I have a heart attack
he wasn't
at a
moving.
Cal Poly basketball game, I might take a few games off before I go back. just to make sure, It's like, nope, I'm back.
That's the kind of softness that I don't accept.
Here we go.
We're looking for those dedicated fans, and that's
So,
Gotta get back on the horse. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Walk us through what happened from your perspective because we weren't there. Jeff heard on the radio that it was a really long commercial break. But you're coaching the game, everything's going, and then did the ref just call a timeout, or what happened?
No, it was strange because it was a 2-point game. We had the ball. We take a 3-pointer, I believe, longer shot, bounces around as a scramble. There's a loose ball, and there's only a minute 10 to go. So this is a huge possession. Our 2 guys dive on the ground. They kind of fighting with each other, and a third one of their guys, the third person grabs the ball and kind of tie up its jump ball. So they look. The referees turn to look at the possession arrow. It's it's gonna be their ball. It's gonna be Northridge's Northridge's ball. So we turn around and go, oh wow, and they kind of step back, and they could see that the fans and people were milling around, and there was a lot going on, and all of a sudden we're like, hey, we need help. We need medical help here, and because it was a dead ball time, and suddenly now more and more people stop. The referees just kind of stop and say, we got a problem here. We look at it, and we just kind of step back and say, well, let's see. So let's take a break. And that break went from 1 minute to 2 minutes to let's get him out of the chair. He's down. He's not moving. He's in the chair, slumped over, and his wife, and that got quieter. And his wife now was obviously Candy was quite upset, screaming his name, and it was now to watch the body. So now the nearest place, the strangest thing for us was the nearest place for them to perform CPR and bring the AED was our bench. Right at the bottom, he was directly behind our bench, 2 or 3 seats behind our bench, up in the seats. So to bring the body down and lay him on the ground and start performing CPR, we moved and all our chairs away, told our guys to get out of the area. We moved to across the other side of the court and stood there, tried to sit down. I think a lot of us kind of turned to the big guy in the sky and throw some prayers up there and try to see if that can help out. But more importantly than that was the fact that we had, the greatest help that you could have with an actual, heart surgeon there.
Wow.
Gosh,
And,
it's incredible.
the right personnel there and the help there, and to revive him 10 minutes later, and to get him on the stretcher and get him into the ambulance and get him to the hospital, and following day get him a pacemaker and back at it. So here's to that. And what was it disturbing to us? Put the game in perspective.
So no matter,
I'm pretty sick of losing games, especially two games that we've lost in the last 4 or in overtime, where it's a missed shot, a play here or there. But again, like I said, it feels like life and death to me when you lose a game. It's not life and death, and it's still sports, still fun. It's supposed to be competitive and move on to the next day.
Well, it's a great story to know that somebody can have a heart attack and, to keep the blood circulating. He didn't have any brain damage. A friend of mine, this happened to in December, and his wife started doing CPR on him, and his heart stopped for about 20 minutes. But she kept doing the CPR for 20 minutes. She broke 4 of his ribs.
That's pretty typical. Yeah.
I asked my wife, I said, you break my ribs, right, babe? And so he's fine. He had to get a pacemaker too. And it's just... It's wild to hear that kind of stuff, but it's also reassuring to know that there's so many people that know CPR, and it tells you to go out and get a CPR class. Fullerton in town tomorrow night, and you're still looking for your first conference win, aren't you?
Yes, we are. We are. We've been sitting there close every single game up until the last one, losing down the buzzer and getting beat on the boards, but time to rally it up. We're going to have to get a victory and go to the Broad Street Public House. There we go.
We were talking about this off air, and it was like, gosh, it seems like every game you guys have, you go to overtime. How many overtime games have you had this year?
This year we've had 4.
Okay.
And then the stats were that we already had 4 or 5 at the end of last year. The stat that we saw was just recently 9 of our last 27 games, 9 of them, I believe, have gone into overtime.
That's a pretty big sample size.
It's an amazing stat. It shows you how close we are, yet how much work we got to do. We've won half of them, but you don't want to get there. I always say that the best coaching is just win by 10. Forget about heart attacks. Forget about overtime. Just be 10 points better. But until we step up our physical recruiting levels, where we just have that physical superiority, we're going to have to be smoke and mirrors and great defense and rebounding and take care of the ball. I'm really proud of our team. Right now, we had 15, 16 games. Our guys were dead on to everything. We lose a tight game here and there, but last game was the first game. We got blown out in the last 10 minutes of the game that I was frustrated because the physicality. The opponent has 7'1", 265-pound center from Australia who he manhandled us, and we got out-rebounded by 15 to 20 rebounds. And it was one of those frustrating things that you feel helpless. It's like, can I stop that, water from coming out? You see the toilet overflowing, and here it comes up. It's going higher and higher. You're like, what can you do? Nothing. And that's what happens. That's what the feeling is when you play against a bigger team. We got things that we got to become better offensively to do all that. But still, it's the physicality of the game is so important. And big teams, they rebound better, they score more inside points. And we're going to keep on recruiting for that type of player and develop the ones that we do have.
What do you say to the players when you're in a situation like this and you're so close and you're kind of their pep guy? You're the leader. So it's like I know that's part of being a coach is you have to give these great speeches or just talk to the guys and just mentally. It's not all about physical, but mentally kind of get them through it as well.
Well, you're right. It's much more mental than anything, and that's why you don't have an absolute. You don't go to hey, this is speech 7 or 9 or speech 4. There's got to be reality. The guys are smart and they know that you can't say the same thing. Sometimes you say good effort, good first half, tough break. Next time you might be a little upset about some rebounding. Next time you might say let's take the next day off. We took the day off yesterday. Our guys just look tired. They're going to class now. We've been in class for 3 weeks. People forget about that part of it. I sometimes think we are more rested when we go on the road because they get to sleep until 9 o'clock. They don't go to any class. We go to shoot around. They're relaxed. They get pick up it. Now Saturday game will be great coming up because Friday night we'll have a good practice today, but guys will sleep in and we won't see them till 11 o'clock.
And Saturday their whole focus is the game. They're not, like you said, thinking about class.
Exactly. You're not going to 6 hours of class and so forth. And I think the coaches like it that way as well. We can get them around, we can see some film, and everybody's a little bit more relaxed and energized, ready to go. And we're going to need it. Fullerton's got 2 of the best guards in the conference. Kyle Allman, Fullerton team that we play Saturday night, won the Big West Championship last year, went to the NCAA tournament, played quite well, and Kyle Allman was put his name in the pre-draft camp. He's an NBA prospect. NBA scouts could possibly be at our game tonight. I mean, he's a 6'4" shooting guard out of New York City that they were able to get out to Fullerton, and hats off to him. They have two seniors that are in the backcourt that are 18 points and 16 points. So we're going to have to be big time defensively, and then we got to get hot. when you watch those Warriors play, and you go like, well, what do they do? What's so great about their offense? 3 of the best shooters ever in the history of the game. And so sometimes it's not just what you're doing, but how you're doing it, and you're hot. You make shots, everything looks good. Remember Klay Thompson, they said, start of the year was Klay Thompson, that great WSU guy, of course.
Yeah, of course.
That he was in a slump, and he could. I know last week he made 10 in a row.
Yeah,
so all of a sudden they look really good again.
Well, it's always great to have you in, Coach. Good luck tomorrow night against Fullerton. Anything else, Jeff?
No, I think there's no excuse, no matter how you're feeling, not to make it out to a Cal Poly basketball game, because there's plenty of staff there. Not staff, fans. There's plenty of fans there that have experience.
Is this a government shutdown, Jeff? What are you doing?
No, I'm saying that if you're feeling a little under the weather, you still probably can make it out.
Isn't there beer
in
games
good
now?
hands?
Yeah, there's cold brew there. Absolutely. Pre-game in the tent, you're a Stampede Club member, and then you can purchase it during the course of the game up to halftime, I believe.
Okay.
Well, I haven't bought one during the game yet, but I do believe people have.
They keep going the way they're going.
I've considered walking over there and having a cold one. That's for sure. All right,
you're awesome, Coach.
It's great that we have the doc here, and I know where to get my next beer at the Rod Steve.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at KZOZ.com.
Matt Cross here, Broad Street Public House. We got the doc in who's doing karaoke. Trivia.
You can do that too.
You can do that
Yep,
too.
do that too. Yep.
So what is
Dr.
trivia
Ricky
night?
Volpe.
So
Is this
if you get a bunch of dummies that walk in the door, you're like, trivia's off tonight. We're going to karaoke.
So what? Jeff was talking about
a chance.
Jeff was talking about a trivia night that he went to with like 11 friends, and they dominated.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, you had 12 people.
Well,
there.
that's the thing. So we try to. You can explain how trivia is set up.
Yeah, so this is a classic pub trivia. The maximum team size is 5, and that's done to prevent the idea of an army of people coming in and crowdsourcing the idea, but crowdsourcing and winning the whole thing. But we one of the reasons why I'm here today, we have this one team. I can't say their name on the radio.
Well, it's combined in another word. Okay, spell it. I could spell it.
Well, it doesn't matter. No one's heard of them unless they've been to trivia night on.
That's true.
Go to trivia night on Sunday.
The last part of their name is the Fitz. So
Okay.
think about the first part.
Okay.
The blank fits. The blank fits. Yeah. So
the blank Fitz.
Yeah, so I'm out here looking for talent. I'm looking for folks who want to come into the pub and to topple this team that wins probably 8 or 9 times out of 10.
You're recruiting.
I'm recruiting, yeah.
Because the last 2 times I played, I recruited 3 other guys that I thought were pretty smart, and we lost twice by 1 point.
What are the categories?
It changes every week.
Yep, 6 new categories every week.
Sports?
Yeah, we got a Super Bowl.
Oh, really? Even though Matt's there, huh?
Well,
that's probably why you lost by 1 point.
Exactly.
Matt tends to quite, when I'm asking about music, Matt, this is so easy. But we switched to sports, and he quiets
down
a
funny.
little bit.
You could walk in this room and look at all 4 of us and go, "Who do you think is the sports guy?" And you would be wrong.
The best is how we just had Coach Callero in here. Well, Jeremy, for whatever reason, football season, he tends to take a lot of time off. There's a lot of vacations to Mexico and stuff. And Coach Walsh,
1 week.
Coach Walsh comes in here and he starts talking
I
about
love Coach Walsh.
He starts talking about football, and he starts talking about X's and O's in football, and he's like looking at Matt
eye contact the whole time
for some kind
He's
of
convinced you've played.
Yes.
For linebacker.
Linebacker.
for some kind of agreement or some kind of for Matt to contribute something to the conversation.
I just lightly nod.
And I'm just sitting over there in your chair and I'm cracking up laughing, and Matt's just sitting there nodding like this. Yes, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So
Coach.
is this trivia night? I mean, we're sports, current affairs, entertainment type news. Are we doing science and math trivia?
Read them the
Does it
categories
get real
from last
dorky?
week. You got them on your phone.
Yeah.
No, like I said, playing in it. Some nights, you'll get a category. Like one night, it was Mel Brooks movies, and I was like, I wasn't a huge fan of Mel Brooks movies, but people were. And he killed it. The next one's like insects, and then it was like solar system, but then it could be famous guitarists and music, rock and roll history.
Okay,
It jumps all over the place. So you could be. There's nights I've walked in and be like, I'm so smart. Other nights I'm like, I haven't answered one correct question in 3 rounds.
Yeah, the idea is that it's supposed to be a team sport. You would have to be amazing to come in there solo and to run the board. Because you put together a team where everyone has their comparative advantages.
Right.
Science nerds.
So I have a question for you. So if we get some people on the phone, can you take some of the questions you did last week, and we'll try to give away?
You'd have to dumb it way down. I'm just telling you. I'm going to beware right now.
Take it easy.
That might be insulting.
We have a lot of doctors and lawyers that listen to the show. A lot of people that pay
I think
attention.
you're catching on to the point, Dr. Ricky.
We have a lot of unemployed people that just sit around and watch TV all day, and they're
true.
very educated.
That's true. Like if you have People's Court as a category, I'm sure
People's Court is not on anymore.
Divorce Court, Judge Judy.
Judge Judy is.
I mean, you're also going to have probably some cheating.
Wendy Williams.
All right, let's do this. Will you give away a $25 gift card to your bar?
I will.
You will.
Yeah.
To the winner.
I love how you question the integrity over the phone line. But that makes me trust you as a host of a trivia night.
because
We'll say they have to
someone gets on
answer
their
the
phone,
question
he's like,
within,
what
I don't know, 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll figure it out. But
The no cell phones is the most important rule at trivia. I mean,
Right.
everything's on the
everything is on the what?
on the phone.
Everything.
Oh, yeah, everything is on your
Yeah.
phone. Okay, well, we'll figure this out. Here's the deal. We're going to open up the phones right now, and we'll take the first couple people that get through.
I got an idea.
Now, I don't care if you work somewhere.
Take 2 or 3 people, and whoever gets the answer right the fastest, like they can say their name. And
Yeah. I got it all figured out.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have you ring in with your name and all that kind of
That's
stuff.
not what I just said, but I can
But
review it.
we'll take a few people, and you can use people that you work with if you want, but one person will represent, and you can win a $25 gift card to go to Broad Street Public House.
I'm not kidding, Ricky, when I say you got to dumb these down.
805-543-3693. All right, just the first couple of people to get through can win. We'll ask you a couple trivia questions. First one to get 3 points is going to be a winner. Okay?
Like it.
All right. And what did you want? You want?
No, that's great. You're doing great. It's like you do this for a
thanks,
living.
Dad. I appreciate it. Trivia night happens at the Broad Street Public House.
Every Sunday
Sunday at 5.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
There you go.
Wait,
All right.
every Sunday? What about next Sunday?
No.
No, it will not be next Sunday. Apparently something's going on next Sunday, but I didn't move
I
trivia.
don't know what's going on.
Let's get our contestants in here. This is Spencer and Chris. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
All right, how it's going to work is the doc over here who runs Trivia Night is going to ask you a question. And then what we want you to do, since we can't see you, is ring in by saying your name if you know the answer. You can use other people around you in the office, wherever your workplace is, if you'd like. But the first person to ring in and get it correct within the allotted amount of time will get a point. First person to 2 points wins, and it's $35 to go to Broad Street Public House, okay?
Let's do it. Sounds good.
All right. Coach, question, doctor, sorry.
No, that's
We just had a
fine.
coach here.
Oh, no, that's wonderful. These questions all fall into the category famous guitarist. First question of the morning. What is the stage name of the British-born guitarist Saul Hudson, who helped found the rock supergroup Velvet Revolver in 2002?
Chris.
Spencer first?
Yeah, Spencer was first.
Buckethead.
No, that is incorrect.
Does Chris get a shot?
To me, this is super easy.
Chris?
Yeah, I think Chris should get a shot. I mean, Chris, he rang in.
Yeah, what do you got, Chris?
Slash.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Slash is
we
correct.
got a point on the board. Nice job, buddy. All right, so Chris is up 1. Answer was Slash.
This is not,
So disappointing.
this is not hard. You should show up on Sunday and you could win fabulous prize.
What are you trying to say? The guy doesn't have good questions?
No, but I mean, that's how these trivia things are made, right?
I'm just
they're
kidding.
made so everybody can, you know.
Yeah, you try to pick a few that
The
people are
answer is
gonna
usually
get,
kind of easy, but the question is hard and it gets you thinking, you know?
The idea.
All right, here we go.
No.
All right.
Next question.
Second question of the contest. Who served 2 stints as the lead guitarist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers from 1988 to 1992 and again from 1998?
Jeff.
Spencer.
John Frusciante.
That is correct.
Good job.
All right, there we go.
So is that 1-1?
1-1.
1-1.
This is the rubber match.
All right,
This is it right here. What was that for?
Just getting it ready.
Here we go. This is for all the marbles.
All right.
Here we go. Tom Morello served as the lead guitarist for
Spencer.
what?
Spencer.
Rage Against the Machine.
That is incorrect.
Oh, you got to wait.
Now you gotta finish reading the question.
Here it
Finish reading
comes.
the question.
All right, so we got Chris, right? Chris, here comes the rest of the question. Which featured the late Chris Cornell as the lead singer?
Now, you have enough time, Chris, if you want him to read the whole question again.
Oh, that's one of those questions.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
That could not have worked out
Can't even
better.
hear the question.
Okay.
No! Everybody shut up.
Sorry.
What's the question?
All right, from the top. Tom Morello served as the lead guitarist for what band, which featured the late Chris Cornell as the lead singer?
Chris. Soundgarden. Spencer, I know it. I know it.
That's nice, Spencer, but you already rang in and you thought you had the
I
answer
got
with
it.
Rage Against the Machine. Of course,
It
Dr.
was
Ricky.
50.
So you get another chance?
Read another
We're
question.
tied up. We're
Wait,
tied
so
up.
has anyone announced the answer?
No.
Audio slave.
Audio
This is
slave.
the answer.
Yeah.
Audio
I think we
slave.
should.
Okay, yeah, that's my second guess.
Okay.
All right, so we still need a tiebreaker, right? All right, here we go. This one's for the marbles. Ready? Okay. What legendary guitarist is also known by the nickname Slowhand?
Chris. Spencer.
For the win, Chris.
Eric Clapton.
That is correct. That is correct.
All right, congratulations.
Well, you guys didn't do too bad of a
Good
job.
job,
You made me proud. I was really afraid we were going to be embarrassed in front of the doctor.
Hey, Chris, you've got
Yeah.
$35 to go to Broad Street Public House. We're going to put you on hold so we can make sure we get all that information from you. Spencer, nice playing, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks.
All right, there you go. So every Sunday night except for next Sunday, it's Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday. We're doing a pre-Super Bowl tailgate party. Free hot dog with the purchase of a drink. We're going to be grilling hot dogs right outside on our patio, our unofficial patio.
Okay.
And yeah, we're one of the few bars that has Pliny the Elder from Russian River Brewing Company. Come on out.
You have plenty.
Yeah,
One of the few bars.
one of the 6 bars.
Steve's in from the Woods Humane Society, our Adopt a Pet of the Week, which I already saw on TV this morning, a fat cat, which I love fat cats because fat cats have the most personality.
And they don't move. They're very easy to take care of.
Is this a lazy cat?
I wouldn't necessarily say he's lazy.
Aren't all cats lazy?
Yeah, I mean, it's all relative.
No.
I mean, do you have a lazy beaver?
I do have a lazy beaver
Yeah, see?
You have a beaver?
for 10 years.
How do you think he gets all that housework done? You know, he needs some wood. He needs some wood.
You barely
lazy.
saved
You
yourself.
need some
No.
wood. You need some wood.
Why would a lazy beaver help him get housework done? It's a stretch is what it is.
Every time I drive by his house, his beaver's just laying there in the
No,
front yard.
like have you ever noticed the points on all his
Nobody
woodwork?
believes me that my wife named my cat either. Nobody believes me.
Your wife named the cat Beaver?
Yes.
Like, leave it to Beaver?
Sure. Well, I got home and I'm like, she's like, I named it. It's Beaver. I'm like, are you kidding me? You named her a cat Beaver. She's
Why?
like, she's like, it's got such a thick coat. I go, okay, it could have been like Otter or something. She's like, I go, think about it. Kitty, wherever kids, and she's like, oh, like, oh my gosh. I'm like, don't worry. Everyone's going to think I named it. You're fine. Like, don't worry about it.
Steve, who did you bring with you today?
This is McCall. Say hi, McCall.
Hello.
Are you from McCall, Idaho?
I am not.
Okay. Have you ever been asked that before?
I have been asked numerous times.
No way. Damn it. Thought I would
Sorry,
be the
it's
first
not new.
one.
Nope.
Well, you're going to teach a little geography lesson here? Leave the teaching to the doctor, okay?
Yeah, I plan on it, Jeff. Thank you. So, McCall, tell us about Fatty. What's his name?
His name is Boss.
Boss. I like that.
He's just a little thicker. No, just the
No, that's
bones.
good. That's good. My friend had a cat, and he was fat, and I think he named, and the cat was fat. And then the cat's name was Chelsea. It was his wife's cat, but he named it Porchy. And I think he did this because he was fat, but the cat was fatter than he was. So I think it made, him feel better. I think there was like some issues going on there. So he called the cat Porchy.
I thought it was because it laid on the porch.
And he laid on the porch.
Oh.
That's what he
And
said.
it laid on the
That's
porch.
what he
Makes
said. But
more
I never saw the
sense.
cat. I never saw the cat lay on the
Always
porch.
body shaming from you.
Yeah.
Those are that are insecure, you know.
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
That's what I was saying about my friend. He's insecure.
Hey, McCall, how old is
Anyway,
Boss?
So Boss.
All right, tell us about Boss.
Boss is 5 years old. Very well. I mean, his name says it all. He wants to be the boss. He is microchipped. He's fixed. So
Is he good with other animals?
He's define animals. Well, no, okay. So the issue that I run into with him is that I don't necessarily want him going out and meeting a lot of animals because he is FIV positive. So a cat that's FIV positive, it's similar to the HIV virus, which basically means that he just has a compromised immune system. So
Did you get the cat from Magic Johnson?
oh my gosh, dude.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible.
What?
Oh, please call in. We'll give you Jeff's personal.
The lazy
Jeremy's
beaver
personal number,
wood
sorry.
chopping joke, but okay.
Harry Beaver. Harry Beaver.
It is hard.
I'm going to retire.
Harry Beaver laying on his porch.
All right.
No, so what FIV is, sometimes people will see that and they'll be kind of turned off from the animal, but all it means is that they have a compromised immune system. They're more susceptible to things like
What does
ringworm,
FIV stand for?
feline immunodeficiency virus. It's like
just
HIV.
Say that, but don't say FIV because it sounds like HIV.
It is like HIV.
Well, it is.
Well, I know.
For
but
cats.
still.
For
cats.
Yeah.
And can't
But-
be.
so FIV.
can't be
But people are
transmitted to
dumb, and
humans.
people will just think they can get it.
It doesn't cross
You
species.
say the full
yeah.
name. You say, what is it?
What is it? Feline?
Trying to answer the question that he asked.
Yeah, something about felines and
So,
immune systems.
Here's the thing with FIV positive cats, the only way that it's transmitted is through deep bite wounds and
Only to other cats.
Yeah, and so as long as you could have two cats as long as they get along, that's not necessarily an issue. But what we do ask is that he is an indoor only cat. That being said, he is going to be the boss of your house. He's the boss that's going to be, pretty much doing whatever he wants and looking at you like, hey, I'm the boss.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna eat that lasagna?
It's definitely
No, I'm gonna eat that lasagna
Gonna
because I'm the
regulate.
boss.
Yeah, and I'm not going to argue with him because I don't want to get bit and get FIV.
Definitely not
Are
how
you a
that
cat?
works, but
You're very confusing, Steve. I think you should let the girl from Idaho talk.
once again, not from Idaho.
I know.
Deep bite wounds on other cats is what they say.
I know. I heard.
So, anyways, he looks like he has these cheeks though. He looks like a chipmunk. Like he's got it, like all his nuts stored in his mouth.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. You got to see a picture of him.
Introduce him to Beaver.
I kind of want to.
Touch any of that.
Get a
Leave that
cat
alone.
with FIV with nuts in his mouth.
Cross kind of has like a
let
wild
him bite
beaver
your
though.
beaver.
It's a wild beaver.
Well, this is a real cat, and he's up for adoption.
He
He
is.
really does need a
Should go
home.
look
So
at
as
his
much as we
picture,
joke,
too.
if you have room for your a fatty with that's a boss, then
Body shaming.
pick him up.
Again, with the body shaming.
Pick him
He's
up.
out at Woods in San Luis Obispo, but if you go to woodshumane.org, you can see a picture of him. He's got a really cute
I
face.
recommend.
Absolutely.
It's an adorable picture.
How long have you been working at Woods?
I just volunteer there. It's only been a couple months.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you'll notice he doesn't do much.
Oh,
Ooh. Ouch.
But you'll.
He just
been all
walks
morning.
around.
But
He
you'll
just
probably
walks
end up doing
around.
a lot.
you know what? I watch a lot of cat videos online. Okay.
Research.
Hey, every
It's
time I come in,
research.
he's got an office that is 4 times the size of this studio. No, I'm not jealous. And the cats are just walking on the desk. What are you doing? He goes, I don't know. I go,
Who wants to touch my cat?
Check out this video.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at KZOZ.com.
Jeff and Jeremy know the show. It's Pyromania happening at the Siren in Morro Bay. Mike Cross hanging out with us. You're gonna get Entertainer of the Year, or you might even get New Bar, right? Is that one of the
that'd be
categories?
awesome.
And they're gonna say with owner Mike Cross.
Awesome.
I can't
So
wait.
cool.
I mean, if I ran the paper, that's how it would work.
Remember that guy in journalism class, that guy that looked like Dan O'Brien, and his name was Dan, like, O'Blevins or something like that?
Yeah.
But the graphics guys would always write Dan
Damn
O'Brien.
O'Brien. So rude. Hey, Chef.
Yeah, if you ran the paper, Jeremy, there would be the picture of one person and the name of another.
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's my paper. I do what I want.
Let's see here. It's Justin says the real Mike Cross is listening right now, so we shout out.
Oh,
the real
hey, Mike.
But congratulations, you own a bar, so
Apparently you own my bar.
go collect.
Yeah.
Is this Kate or Katie?
Yes, this is Kate.
Hey,
Hi,
Kate.
guys.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
You're doing as great as Kate could be doing. We need to know which band was erroneously pinned as a band that Tom Morello has been a part of.
Oh, gosh.
It happened in our trivia segment with Dr. Ricky.
I don't think she was listening.
20 minutes ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Guess the
30
show.
minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't listening.
Okay. Have a nice weekend. I hope you have a great weekend, Katie.
Apparently.
Catherine.
Jeremy takes that personally.
Not as personal as getting my name wrong. People call me Jeff all the time, but I don't go on radio shows and rant about it for a half hour.
Listen, Jeremy.
That bothers me.
You'll always be
I
Jeremy
got-
to us.
In grade school, nobody could call me Jeremy.
Just
Everybody
get to
called
the
me
next
Jeremy.
caller, Jerome.
All right, let's go. See, I like Jerome. That's kind of cool. Street. I forget who this is. What's your name? Spencer? No.
Darth Vader.
My name's Ed.
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 Ed the Shred. All right, Ed.
Hey, that's it.
Know the
Fred,
show. Know the
call me
show.
when you want. special ed. It's the proper name is Soundgarden.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're the winner, man. You're going to go see Pyromania.
Not to be confused with Pearl Jam or Nirvana.
Rural Jam.
Also, never a part of either of those bands.
God, that's a great name for
a country band, Rural Jam.
For a bluegrass.
There you go.
Bluegrass Pearl Jam cover band.
Rural Jam.
Rural Jam. That's a great name.
I thought of that.
I gotta go learn how to play a banjo.
Jeremy, who can't say rural, what if you say Pearl and just change it to
I
an
am
R?
not the only one that cannot say rule very well.
Rural.
Rule.
You should go right for the new time.
I'm telling you,
I measure with a ruraler.
Matt, you say it.
Rural.
Rule.
Can you say Pearl?
Doc, am I saying it right?
No.
Doc, I want the doc to say it. You say it.
Rural.
Rural.
See?
There's two.
Well, if I say
you're
it,
making it one syllable.
no, rural. Rural. I sound like Scooby-Doo. Rural.
That's Jeremy.
Rural. Rural.
Rural.
Rural.
Rural.
Rural. Right?
I think that was the closest you got.
Rural. 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 Rural.
Hey,
You said it
getting
wrong
closer.
every single time.
I said it right every
You're
time?
gonna have to get a stick and hit him with it when he gets it rural.
Rural. Is that rule?
No, that's rule.
In a
You're
rural
saying
area.
rule. No, you're saying rule.
Forget it.
Like a ruler.
the rules.
I've been working on this for like a year.
Rural
Do you know?
Is it hot in here?
Do you know the categories that are going to be going on at the
I can
Marsh
name-
Street Public House?
I can name one very exciting
Nobody even
category.
got my joke. I
We
called it the Marsh
mentioned
Street Public House.
we've mentioned the paucity of TVs in the pub, but we've been using the TVs lately for visual categories.
Oh, cool.
There will be a category, famous buildings. I will show you photos of famous buildings around the world. You tell me where they are.
How about a category on pronunciations of hard words like rural?
What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong?
It was
room
nice
full
to
of
meet you, by the
Jeremys.
way. It was nice to meet you. Get out Sunday night for trivia night. Starts at 5 o'clock at the Broad Street Public House, right next to Cole Dodge. Thank you, Matt, for coming in.
Thank you.
And congratulations again to Special Ed over here who just picked up some tickets to go see Pyromania.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at kzoc.com.